I think that our chances for going to Worlds are extremely high.
Hi guys, this is Tom reporting from the LEC, and with me here is Guilhoto, the coach of Origen. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. Just happy that we won, but obviously still with a bit of resentment from yesterday. But overall, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you actually about Origen's chances of making it to the World Championship stage, and especially because for a long time now, Origen has been this kind of top 3 limbo kind of where Fnatic and G2 were considered the definite best in the LEC, and then you had Origen as a clear number 3, and then came the other teams. Is that a sentiment you share as well?
I think it's really hard to not put G2 as the best team in Europe and Fnatic as the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So I do share that sentiment, but I also think that we have the talent, and I think we have also the routines in place in order to surpass one or both teams, and that's what we'll aim for the split. I don't think we are favorites or better than those teams by any chance, but I do think that we have our chance, and we'll do our best to take it. And about Worlds, I think our chance to making it are quite high. People will look at these two games, and obviously one of them will be the outlier, or the abnormal one.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, the abnormal one was definitely the SK. I think that from practice, our level is closer to what we played today against G2 than what we played yesterday against SK. So with that, and hopefully we can show the same performance tomorrow and during the rest of the split, I think that our chances for going to Worlds are extremely high.
Yeah, I think that's something I want to talk to you about, is the goal for Origen. Now, it is Worlds, but is that a third place spot? Would you be happy with that? Or, what's the goal for you as a coach to reach with Origen in this split for the team?
I think that first of all, we want to make it to Worlds, and that includes play-ins. So that would mean that getting a top 3 in the regular split, as long as Mad Lions doesn't get a top 2, means that we go into the 3rd seed in playoffs, and we have the chance to get to Worlds without even winning a single best of 5.
Yeah.
So that's our first goal, and then once we reach there, obviously, the higher the better. There's no point where we say if we reach here we are happy. We have a minimum goal for us, which is going to Worlds, and whatever comes above that, then we'll take it. But I'm not sure when our ambition will be satisfied. So it's kind of a hard question to say. I think that if we fulfill our bare minimum, it's enough to say that we did okay, and that's the only mark that we can set right now. Our okay mark is make it into top 4 and go to Worlds.
So you would also be at least accepting of a 4th place finish?
Yeah, we would accept it. So as I said, that would be our bare minimum, right? So we would accept it. I also think that Europe right now is really competitive, so we would accept it, but that's definitely not what
you wouldn't be happy.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm not sure where our team would be, or where we would be happy. So for now, the only thing that I can say is that we would accept and would be okay with going to Worlds. And once we secure that spot, then we will probably not be okay anymore with a pure 4th place. So let's just see how things develop.
To me, it at least would seem that in terms of raw power, this team should be able to contest with Fnatic. Or do you disagree with that?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely possible. I think that Fnatic came also in the last split with some fundamentals that were better than us, and I think that also Mithi did a fantastic job with that group. So last split, when we faced in the best of 5, our reading of Ezreal Yumi was not ideal. So we kind of gave 2 games away, but they definitely play better than us, and they were a better team than us going into those playoffs. But I did felt that from the beginning until there, or at least not the beginning, but from like halfway split, which was when Fnatic kind of flew off and really showed the level that they could achieve, until the end, I felt that we were getting a bit closer. So I'm quite excited for next week facing Fnatic, and especially going into playoffs. I do think we have the individuals to catch and surpass Fnatic, but it will require a lot of work and a lot of commitment from the whole group, because I think Fnatic is a super aggressive team that plays really tight together and well coordinated in what they want to do in the map. And if you're not ready for that, then Fnatic will just smash you.
So in terms of individual level, you say you could match Fnatic?
Yes.
And that it's more of a team coordination and a teamwork issue for Origen to consistently reach their performance?
Yes, I think so.
And how are you trying to approach that then? And how are you trying to get on that level? Because you just had 8 weeks of off season, and I can imagine that during those 8 weeks, well, you give your players some rest, I suppose, after that.
Yeah, of course.
But still, you know, your eyes are on the prize, and your eyes are on getting a finish as high as possible. Like, how are you going about getting Origen to perform consistently as well as Fnatic? Because if you think in terms of raw power, you should be able to match Fnatic, then I would assume that it's your goal to get those players there as soon as possible.
Yes, as I said, I think Fnatic has really strong fundamentals, and I think the fact that they kept a group of 4 from last year's team that managed to go 3-2 against G2, that then went to the World Finals. I think that was a big head start that they had. So basically, now what we are trying to do is just work a lot on our fundamentals, and trying to make practice with a lot more quality when we work in systems and with routines that we can then apply going into matches. Because something that happens in a lot of scrims, in a lot of practice, is that there's so much randomness, and that doesn't really allow you to practice, because people will just play differently on practice. And I mean, it's not really staged now because we play from home, but then in official games. And so that's the first step that we're trying to do, just trying to develop our systems, and just having a lot of talks about how we want to play the game, and trying to get everyone on the same page. And after that, we'll obviously start introducing new things and something that will go in our identity, because I think that in order to reach there, we cannot focus on copying or develop something that beats both Fnatic and G2. As I said, our bare minimum is obviously making the top 4. So our main focus is still on us. It's not to catch up, but is to make sure that we develop ourselves enough that we are on a level that we can that we can constantly feel happy about the improvements that we are making week after week. I think that it's the wrong approach to look. We are this close to Fnatic, we need to get to Fnatic, or we need to get to G2, but way more that we need to be better than what we were last week, and next week better than we were last week, and just keeping on that approach, way more focused on ourselves than on beating just 2 teams out of the 10 of the league, or 9 of the league.
So you'd rather give your team a bit more time to develop themselves and find their own groove, basically find their own pace?
Yes, I think every team kind of looks to do it. I think that being obsessed with with someone that at the moment is higher than you, and you want to surpass it, and your only goal is to surpass that goal, will make it always kind of unachievable, or it will at least make you develop a lot of bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely not something that we are looking for. We can't forget that just for example this weekend, right, us losing versus SK, let's say that the results inverse, right, that we win against SK but we lose against G2,
Mm-hmm.
it counts the exact same on the scoreboard. So Fnatic and G2, there are only 4 games. We need to consider the other 14. They have the exact same value. So if we start develop kind of routines that are purely designed to beat those teams, but not necessarily not necessarily routines that make us play well the game and to win consistently based on our fundamentals,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not worth it for sure.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about
Oh,
routines to defeat them in a 1v1, but more about getting on that level to perform as consistently, you know?
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean that I think we can reach, and it's the kind of a similar answer. It's just about us developing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as we keep focusing on ourselves, I know by the way that I saw this group already working for a whole split and this past off season and the changes that we made in our approach to practice, I know that we can reach there.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, André, and good luck in the rest of the split as well.
Thank you. Have a good night.